Hey guys, welcome to the Together for Good podcast, your guide into the real and inspired marriage and life adventure that you never knew was possible. I'm Meredith Osterhaus, the daughter of your hosts, Dan and Melodie Grootman. Mom and Dad's teaching, stories, and experiences with lots of laughing mixed in will move you to make your marriage last, all while making a difference in the world around you. Are you ready? Here we go!
Hey guys, goodness are we glad to see you. Welcome to our first ever podcast, Together for Good. I'm Melodie.
Hey, and I'm Dan. We really are excited about this. We have been praying about this and dreaming about it, thinking about it for a long time. Yeah, and so the fact that it's finally coming together is something that we're just really excited about. And on our 30th wedding anniversary.
30 years, boom. Who'd have thunk it?
if you only knew. It is, we share our stories with you and the journey with you. You'll learn more about what a miracle it is that we're here at 30 years, because apart from God, there is no way that this is a reality. So we're planning Together for Good. What is it, and what are we hoping to start with Together for Good? Together for Good is designed to guide you and your marriage into the real and it's an inspired adventure that you never knew was possible.
Adventure. I like that word.
Yeah.
Oh, it's an adventure.
Well, it is. And if you'll think with us, there's really a couple of ways that you can go with Together for Good, which was kind of Melodie's whole idea. She came up with the name.
It was. It absolutely was. Just another confirmation that this is what we were supposed to do was when the name just came to me suddenly. I like to say it was a God idea. Certainly a good idea. Together for Good. It doesn't just have one meaning. It means two things. First of all, you heard it here first. This is our 30th wedding anniversary. And so,
it's crazy.
You know, we've been through a lot of stuff in our marriage. Stuff, I tell you. And there were times that really we didn't think we'd make it. We weren't even sure we wanted to make it, honestly.
I'm sure the Vegas odds were stacked against us.
For real.
Yeah.
And so we had a decision to make, and we thought and prayed long and hard about it. Will we even stay together?
Right.
And I think there came a time where we made the decision to stay together for good. And so, yay, we're together. We made it, but we wanted more. We didn't just want the consolation prize or the sticker at the end.
And I don't think we necessarily even knew that at the time. I think we kind of grew into that.
We absolutely did, and I want you to tell them more about that.
Yeah.
But the double meaning of Together for Good is that, yes, we chose to, and we hope that you will choose to stay together for good. But in staying together for good, we learned how to be together and do good. Yeah. To be together
to make a difference
for good. We want to tell you a little bit about what we've learned to do together for good and other people we know that do together for good.
And I don't think that was something like we're going to do good things.
Right.
We are accidental foster parents. Not something we ever dreamed would become a reality. But after our second train wreck, and you know, Melodie didn't spell out a whole lot about our marriage, but we've experienced infidelity in our marriage. On my part, we've experienced all of the hurt and the pain that goes with that. And in that process of trying to sort through it,
as you say, putting Humpty Dumpty back together again.
All the King's horsemen. I couldn't do it. As we were going through that process, and we were sticking it out, and we were okay. But God invited us into something much bigger than ourselves. And what I found was, as we entered into His much larger story, His bigger story, all of a sudden our marriage became sweeter. Our marriage became more intentional.
Absolutely.
And it completely flipped it on its head. So by doing good things together, and that story is centered around Abby, who came into our life about 5 years ago. Our oldest son, Jonathan, we have three children. Jonathan is our oldest. He's 26 now with Down syndrome. And Jonathan had a classmate that wasn't doing well, and this gal beside me, one of the gifts she has is she sees people and sees behind the curtain a little bit. And it was clear Abby wasn't doing well. Abby has multiple intellectual and physical disabilities. And so with that, as Melodie engaged, long story short, Abby came to spend the night with us one night, and some things came to light.
We learned
that... and you came up to our room that night and you made a statement that continues to follow us, and that's, I can't unknow what I know. And you're either going to act like you don't know it, stick your head in the sand and move on, or you're going to be forced to engage. Well, we chose to engage.
I remember saying, I don't know if we will be the ones or if we will find the ones.
Yeah.
But we're not ever going to be the same after knowing this.
Yeah.
So we're now responsible for it. And
Abby never left our home after that night, and we now have guardianship and custody of Abby. She's ours.
And since then, we've had over 10 foster kids on top of that.
Gosh, I didn't realize that many.
Yeah.
I haven't counted in a whole house. So that in and of itself has changed me. Frankly, I didn't know how selfish I was. I didn't know how self-centered I was. Don't say anything. Stop it. It's not funny.
How did you know what I was thinking?
I felt your...
Was that out loud?
I felt it. I didn't know if it was happening or not. But it was happening. So I just didn't know. And all of a sudden, God used Abby to expose me. See, Abby will give just about anybody a hug except me. Abby calls Melodie Mom. She calls me Mr. Dan. And she just won't give it to me. And you will not hear these words come out of my mouth very often, but I really believe God spoke to me. And here's what he whispered to me. Dan, why are you doing this? Is this a quid pro quo? In other words, Dan, if you give her love and you get the show and tell story, so everybody thinks you're a good guy. But add to that, you're doing this in loving her so that she'll love you in return. Is that what this is about? And God undid me with that. But he didn't stop there. Oh, by the way, Dan, you treat me just the way Abby treats you. Dan, all I want to do is love you. But you keep pushing me away. You keep pushing me aside. Well, that was we'll just say that was a landmark moment for me. And it changed really everything.
But yes, and through these situations that we've had, not just that one and not just being foster parents, but having things that we do together for good, we became what our friend likes to call trench mates. We were in the trench and we were working together toward a goal.
Another great friend calls Foxhole Friends.
Foxhole Friends,
That's right.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it absolutely revolutionized our marriage, and we want to see that same thing happen.
Well, and it's important this be said. We're not trying to talk everybody into being foster parents. We're not trying to talk everybody into any of those things. What we do know is this: God is inviting you into a larger story. Most of the time, the couples that come to us that get sent our way, they're playing in a really small story. And it's really about them. They never get outside of that. And then they wonder why they're bored. They wonder why they're unfulfilled. They wonder why things aren't really great for them in every way. I cannot begin to tell you what has happened for us. Every part of our relationship, even the bedroom, every part of our relationship has become sweeter and more and more.
Absolutely.
And so that's what we're wanting to invite you to, is not only to be together for good, but be together for good and invited into the larger story.
Absolutely. So we've told you what it is. We're starting with a podcast, that's obviously, right. Tonight. We've talked a little bit about why us.
And let's talk about the podcast. What do we hope to accomplish out of the podcast? Without any apology, our desire is to inspire you. We want to invite you into, man, this really can be something so much more.
There is
bigger
more.
And richer and deeper. And so we want to see you inspired in your marriage relationship, in your God relationship, and every other relationship that's in your life. But also educate. And so we'll we'll take a lot of our experiences, because one of the things that why us professionally, one of the things I do is I'm an executive coach. So taking our experiences with the skill set that I've been able to acquire as a professional coach and pulling those together, we want to educate you. We want to help you see that this is real. This is not just some touchy-feely, ooey-gooey. So guys out there, this isn't just for your wives. This is for you as well. How can we move forward in really making an impact for good things?
Absolutely. And the payoff is sweet, is it not?
Yeah.
The payoff, it's that whole what's in it for me. Hang on, stay with us. The payoff is sweet.
Yeah.
So the podcast, it's to inspire and it's to educate. We feel like this is something that God is nudging us into. Yeah. We can't not. Yeah. I can give you all the reasons why we shouldn't, because we are some kind of busy and some kind of diversified, but this is something we've just not been able to get away from. We're really excited about it, and we're glad you're here from the beginning. I'm also glad that there's a housefly that just keeps flying all around. I'm hoping you can't see it, but if every once in a while I just start swatting over. You did not. That is gross. That's so gross. Anyway, another thing I'm excited about, not just the podcast, but there's more. We will have resources that will provide you guys a path forward. It's an awful way to feel stuck, to feel overwhelmed. Right. And then I kind of want things to get better. I have no idea where to start. And so let us help you with that. Let us help guide you along the way. We'll have resources to provide a path forward. Some of those resources will be, we're going to do some marriage coaching. We love to come alongside couples. Some of you are in marriage 911. It's an emergency situation, folks. We're going to get you into triage. Right. We're going to stop the bleeding.
Right.
Others of you kind of like each other and things aren't that bad, but they aren't that good. Yeah. And you're bored and you're what next? So
there's really two types of marriage coaching. There's what I call restorative coaching, and then there's proactive coaching. Proactive, going from where you are to where you want to go. The restorative coaching is, okay, where we are right now today, how do we patch this in such a way that we can have a plan to move forward?
Absolutely.
So the two different ways, but the same tools, just applied in a different way.
Absolutely. And it is possible.
Yeah, that's right.
are living proof that it is possible.
Yeah, that's right.
Not just to survive, but to really go somewhere with your marriage.
That's right.
So we'll have marriage coaching. And that'll launch this fall. We also are going to have marriage events, i.e. retreats, i.e. conferences. We just love this kind of stuff. We love meeting people. We love being with people. And we love seeing good things happen in marriages. Mm-hmm. So you put all that together, and chocolate, it's all good. We got some marriage events. We're also going to have some Together for Good network through Facebook, through Instagram, through social media. My personal favorite. We are going to have a great big village. We're going to have a great big neighborhood, if you will, where we can learn from each other and support each other.
And just there's something about having something that moves your mind to being intentional with this marriage journey. And so that's something that we're going to focus on.
So speaking of intentional, is it their turn yet? Or are we going to just keep talking? Let's let it be their turn.
I think so.
So here's the deal. It's your turn to talk amongst yourselves, okay? We have an assignment for you. What we would like for you, each couple, to do, you may have heard us say marriage resume, our marriage resume.
We have quite an impressive one. I think I alluded to that. So.
Oh, we do.
Yeah.
We do. Yeah. Impressive is a good word for it. But marriage resume, what would your marriage resume look like? We want you guys to spend some time talking, thinking about that. If you had to create a marriage resume, what would you list as your greatest achievements as a couple? Now, not me by myself, not him by himself. You guys together, what are some of your greatest accomplishments?
And if you find yourself coming up a little empty, it's okay. We want to come alongside of you. So here's what we're going to suggest. We'd love, by the way, send those resumes to us. Go to our contact page there on our website, wearetogetherforgood.com.
All letters, no numbers. We are togetherforgood.com.
And please don't hesitate. Send those to us. We'd love to see those. But if you're getting a little stuck, here's what we specifically would love for you to do. We'd love for you to text the word resume to the number that's below here on the screen right now. If you're listening to us on audio, go to our website. You'll find a way to get to us. We just text to us resume, and we'd love to get some resources to you. A way forward, because sometimes when you do an exercise like this, it kind of leaves you, oh, snap, where are we?
Yeah.
So that's not a bad thing. So don't feel shame and guilt. That's not helpful. We just want to help you. So send us that text, resume, to the number on the bottom of the screen. One other thing you can do with that number on the bottom of the screen, if you'll text subscribe, or I told Melodie, sign me up. If you text one of those two things, we'd love to subscribe you to our podcast. We'd love to just send, we're not going to blow you up with all kinds of trash junk email, and we're not going to send your number around other places, but just on just stuff that can be helpful to you. And that's what our desire is simply to be helpful. So subscribe using that number, texting subscribe, or if you're finding yourself empty, coming up empty on that resume, send resume to us at that number as well.
Absolutely. We can't tell you how glad we are that you trusted us enough to come and enjoy this first podcast. We're looking forward to the journey. Wait a minute, I feel a song coming on. We've only just begun.
That's enough of that.
Is that okay?
Love you anyway. I'm not sure how to end it after that. So look forward to seeing you next time.
Just hold my hand.
So this week's show may be over, but the work has just begun. Be sure to check out the great resources and references mentioned in today's show in the show notes at wearetogetherforgood.com/podcast. It is also super easy to subscribe to the show so you never miss an episode. Hey, if this podcast has been an encouragement to you in your marriage and life journey, please let the people in your world know. Help us spread the word about the Together for Good adventure by following us on our Facebook and Instagram pages. This would go a long way to help get the word out. Don't forget to check out our website, wearetogetherforgood.com, for free resources, archived podcast episodes, and other ways you can experience a life and marriage that is together for good.